Have you ever felt it, that persistent whisper in the back of your mind, questioning your worth, your choices, your very existence, unless someone else affirms them? How many times have your decisions, your happiness, even your peace, been held hostage by the opinions of others? We live in a world addicted to external validation, where approval has become the most expensive currency, subtly stealing our essence and silencing our inner voice. Imagine, if you will, that you are an entire constellation of stars, brilliant and self-luminous, but for years, perhaps decades, you've been seeking borrowed light from other planets, dimming your own magnificent splendor in the process. This isn't just a metaphor, it's the reality for countless women who, without realizing it, trade their innate power for a fleeting nod of external acceptance. This constant quest for validation, this subconscious belief that your worth is conditional on someone else's approval, it drains you. It leaves you feeling hollow, perpetually chasing something just out of reach, something you already possess within. This is not your destiny. This is not who you are meant to be. Today I will guide you on an extraordinary journey, a journey to dismantle this very dependency, to activate a power that already resides within you. A power so solid, so unshakable, that external validation will become utterly irrelevant. You will learn to thrive, not despite the lack of external approval, but precisely because you realize you don't need it. This is about discovering your own galaxy, your inherent unstoppable light, and claiming it back. This is your blueprint for self-sovereignty, for a life where your power is truly and unequivocally yours, forever. To truly embrace this inner power and permanently free ourselves from the chains of external validation, our first, the crucial step is to understand the invisible cycle that binds us, the subtle yet pervasive dependency on validation. What exactly is this external validation I speak of? It's that relentless craving for praise, for acceptance, for a like or a compliment, for someone else to confirm that you are good enough, smart enough, pretty enough, or simply worthy. It manifests in countless ways: scrolling endlessly through social media, seeking affirmation, constantly seeking approval from your boss or colleagues, bending over backwards to please friends or family, or even basing your entire self-image on the fluctuating opinions of a romantic partner. This isn't a superficial habit, it's a deep, often unconscious drive that turns your precious self-worth into a commodity, dependent on external forces. Why do we as women especially fall into this trap? Much of it stems from early conditioning and societal programming. As children, we often learn that love and acceptance are conditional, tied to our performance or ability to please others. Society, through media and cultural norms, reinforces the idea that our value is linked to external appearance, achievements, or popularity. This creates a deep-seated, though often false belief that to belong, to be loved, to be safe, we must conform to external expectations and seek constant reassurance. It's like being a social chameleon, constantly changing your colors to blend in, to please, to be accepted, but in doing so, you slowly lose your own vibrant, authentic hue. You become so adept at mirroring others' expectations that you forget what your true color ever was. The silent cost of this continuous pursuit is immense. This seeking drains your vital energy, leaving you perpetually exhausted. It fuels anxiety, as you constantly worry about what others think. It ruthlessly undermines your authenticity, forcing you to compromise your true self. Most importantly, it severely impedes your personal growth, because genuine growth comes from within, not from external affirmation. When you are always looking outside for permission to be who you are essentially putting a cap on your own potential, preventing the natural, organic blossoming of your unique spirit. You are, in essence, handing over the remote control of your emotional well-being to others, giving them the power to dictate how you feel about yourself. You are not alone in this struggle. This is a profound and widespread human phenomenon. Consider the pioneering work in social psychology by Solomon Asch, whose conformity experiments in 1951 at Swarthmore College vividly demonstrated the overwhelming power of group pressure on individual judgment. Participants, when faced with a unanimous but incorrect majority, often conformed to the group's wrong answer, even when their own senses told them otherwise. This isn't just about simple perception, it illustrates how deeply ingrained our need for social acceptance can be, even overriding our own logical faculties. We are wired for connection, yes, but this wiring can be exploited when we prioritize external validation over internal truth. The good news, however, is that this kind of conformity, this dependency, can be unlearned. It is not an unchangeable fate. It is a pattern, and like any pattern, it can be reprogrammed. Understanding this cycle is the first step towards breaking free, toward reclaiming your mind and your power, allowing you to begin the profound journey of thriving without needing anyone else's permission. Now that we've unmasked the invisible cycle of validation dependency, it's time to turn our gaze inward, for this is where the true revolution begins. Our second crucial step in embracing your inner power is about awakening self-awareness. The inner mirror. How can you truly thrive without external validation if you don't even know what your authentic, unvalidated self looks and feels like? This is the very first step in true self-mastery, the courageous act of looking into your inner mirror, not to seek flaws, but to see the profound essence that exists independently of any external opinion. What does it mean to look within? It's about asking yourself the uncomfortable yet liberating questions. What truly defines me beyond my roles, my achievements, or what others expect? What makes my soul sing, even when no one else is listening? For centuries, Shaolin masters have emphasized the profound importance of introspection, of training the mind to discern what is real from what is merely perceived. My own revered teachers would often speak of the necessity of cleaning the mind's mirror, removing the dust of external judgments and expectations, to reveal the clear reflection of your true self. This quiet self-inquiry is your most powerful tool to reconnect with your authentic core. How do you begin this process of deep auto-observation? I encourage you to become a detached witness to your own patterns. When do you feel that familiar urge to seek approval? Is it before posting something online? Before making a big decision? After a conversation with a specific person? Start a validation journal. Simply note when, why, and from whom did you seek approval today. This isn't about judgment, it's about observation. This detached witnessing of the pattern is crucial. You're not trying to change it yet, you're simply shedding light on it. This simple act of awareness begins to loosen the grip of the dependency. The philosophy of Shaolin places immense value on introspection and the quiet cultivation of clarity. We learn that true strength isn't about outward force, but about an unshakable inner calm. And how do we cultivate this calm? Through stillness. I often guide my students in the practice of mindful meditation, even for just 5 minutes a day. This isn't about emptying your mind, but about observing your thoughts and emotions without judgment. When you sit in this inner silence, you create space for your true voice to emerge, unfiltered by the noise of external expectations. It's in this quiet that you begin to discern your authentic desires from those programmed by others. And this isn't just ancient wisdom, science strongly supports it. Neuroscientific research, particularly the extensive work by Dr. Richard Davidson at the University of Wisconsin-Madison on brain plasticity, demonstrates that consistent mindfulness and meditation practices can literally restructure your brain. They strengthen areas associated with self-awareness, emotional regulation, and perspective taking, while potentially reducing activity in areas linked to fear and reactivity. This means you become less reactive to external triggers and more anchored in your internal state, diminishing the unconscious drive for external approval. It's a powerful validation of the Shaolin path. Training the mind physically changes your capacity for inner power. Once you begin to truly see yourself through the clear lens of self-awareness, you confront perhaps the most pervasive myth that binds us, the myth of insufficiency. Our third transformative step is about reconnecting with your intrinsic worth, the source you are. For too long, many of us have carried the burden of feeling broken or incomplete, believing that our value is something we must earn, something that others bestow upon us. We chase accomplishments, perfect appearances, and external praise, convinced that these external markers will finally make us enough. This is a profound misunderstanding of your true nature. The teachings I embody, rooted in the Shaolin tradition, emphasize that true power does not come from external acquisition, but from recognizing what is already inherently within. Your worth is not conditional. It is intrinsic. It is not something you gain. It is something you think of yourself not as a building needing external scaffolding for support, but as a majestic ancient tree, rooted deep within the earth, drawing sustenance from its own core. Your worth is like the life force flowing through that tree, inherent, constant, and unshakable. Regardless of the storms it faces or the opinions of those who pass by, you don't need anyone's permission to be worthy. You simply are. This fundamental truth is the bedrock of all genuine self-mastery. But how do we truly internalize this, when years of conditioning have taught us of us? This is where the profound insights of positive psychology come into play. Trailblazers like Carl Rogers, with his concept of unconditional self-acceptance, have shown that the foundation of mental health and robust self-esteem is the ability to accept oneself fully, with all imperfections, regardless of external factors. You don't need to do anything to be worthy, you simply are. It's about shifting from "I will be worthy when" to "I am worthy," inherently. To strengthen this intrinsic self-respect, begin with powerful affirmations, not just empty words, but declarations felt deep within your being. I am enough. My worth is unconditional. I am worthy of love and respect. Simply by existing, celebrate every small victory, every tiny step where you chose your inner voice over external pressure. The consistent practice of recognizing your inherent value day by day builds an unshakable inner fortress. Consider the story of Sarah, a woman who for years felt invisible unless she was overachieving at work or being the perfect friend. Her self-worth was a fragile construct, constantly rebuilt on external praise. One day, after a particularly draining interaction where her efforts went unacknowledged, she hit a wall. She began to apply these principles. Sitting in silent self-reflection, journaling her triggers, and consciously repeating, "I am worthy," even when no one is watching. Initially, it felt forced, but slowly, a subtle shift occurred. She started saying no to requests that drained her, not out of anger, but out of a deep respect for her own energy. The external world didn't always applaud her new boundaries, but for the first time, Sarah felt a profound, unwavering sense of peace within herself. Her strength came not from what others gave her, but from what she recognized within. This is the power available to you, a journey from seeking to be. Having awakened our self-awareness and reconnected with our intrinsic worth, our fourth crucial step is to build an unbreakable shield, the guardian of your energy. This is about establishing clear, firm boundaries, energetic, emotional, and temporal. For many women, the concept of boundaries feels almost rebellious. We are often culturally conditioned to be accommodating, to be nice, to prioritize harmony even at the cost of our own inner peace. This leaves us vulnerable, like a garden without a fence, open to anyone who decides to enter and take what they please. Without firm boundaries, your precious energy becomes a shared resource, constantly tapped into, often without malicious intent but with devastating effects on your vitality and sense of self. You find yourself feeling obligated, resentful, and perpetually depleted. Boundaries are not about pushing people away, they are about defining your sacred space. They are like the invisible walls of your personal fortress, designed to keep out what drains you and preserve what truly nourishes you. This involves several layers of protection. Physically, it means managing your time and presence, choosing consciously where and with whom you spend your precious energy. Emotionally, it's about refusing to take on others' feelings as your own, recognizing that their emotional state is their responsibility, not yours to fix or absorb. Mentally, it involves discerning whose opinions and narratives you allow to influence your thoughts and self-perception, shielding your mind from unwanted external programming. The Shaolin discipline inherently teaches the importance of boundaries. The rigorous training itself is a physical and mental boundary, a commitment to self-mastery that requires containing one's energy and protecting one's personal space from distraction and external demands. It teaches the power of containment, of focusing inward and not allowing external chaos to disrupt your inner calm. This proactive establishment of limits is powerfully supported by modern behavioral psychology. Research consistently demonstrates the importance of assertiveness, the ability to express your needs, thoughts, and feelings in a direct, honest, and appropriate way, while respecting others, as a cornerstone for mental well-being and strong relationships. When you clearly communicate your boundaries, you are not being aggressive. You are being assertive. You are declaring your self-worth. And in doing so, you teach others how to treat you. Studies in social psychology, such as those exploring interpersonal communication patterns, research by Dr. Daniel Siegel at UCLA on interpersonal neurobiology, 2012, has illuminated how clear communication impacts neural pathways, consistently show that individuals who maintain healthy boundaries experience lower stress levels, stronger self-esteem, and more balanced relationships. This is because boundaries prevent emotional exploitation and foster mutual respect. When you establish a boundary, you are not only protecting yourself but also teaching others how to interact with you in a healthy way, strengthening the fabric of your relationships. Building this shield of boundaries requires courage and consistent practice. It means choosing your peace over people-pleasing. It means honoring your own internal signals when an interaction feels draining, and taking conscious steps to protect yourself. This can be as simple as limiting time with certain individuals, changing the topic of conversation, or respectfully disengaging from drama. Every time you enforce a boundary, you strengthen this shield, making your energetic space truly inviolable. Remember, your energy is your most precious resource. Guard it fiercely. Now that you've built your unbreakable shield and consciously reconnected with your intrinsic worth, a powerful transformation occurs. Our fifth crucial step is about channeling your energy for purpose. The inner propulsion. What happens when your energy is no longer being drained by the incessant need for external validation, by old programming, or by limiting beliefs? The answer is simple yet profound. That freed energy becomes available for creation, for growth, for your deepest purpose. Imagine a powerful river that has been held back by a dam of external expectations and self-doubt. Once that dam is consciously removed, the river flows freely, nourishing the land, generating immense power and creating new life. Your reclaimed energy is precisely like that river. With the constant drain eliminated, you experience a renewed sense of focus, a surge in creativity, a profound inner peace that replaces the anxiety of seeking approval, and a flood of new opportunities that effortlessly flow into your life. The mental fog lifts, your intuition sharpens, and your capacity for joy expands exponentially. This is not a theoretical concept. It is the direct, tangible result of taking back your energetic sovereignty. This is the manifestation of your true potential. It was always there, waiting beneath the layers of exhaustion and societal conditioning. Now, it can finally blossom. This recovered energy can be powerfully channeled into your deepest objectives and dreams. Your relationships become more authentic and nourishing because you engage from a place of wholeness and abundance, not need or a desire for approval. Your career paths align more closely with your true purpose, bringing fulfillment and genuine abundance, rather than just external recognition. Your overall sense of well-being becomes your default state, because your happiness is no longer dependent on the fickle opinions of the world. So how do you identify this powerful purpose within you? It begins with deep introspection, similar to the self-awareness we cultivated earlier. What are your true passions, independent of what others might deem successful or acceptable? What unique talents do you possess that you feel compelled to share? What truly lights up your soul, even if it feels daunting or unconventional? In Eastern philosophies, concepts like Ikigai, a Japanese concept meaning a reason for being, the intersection of what you love, what you are good at, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for, or Dharma, in Buddhism, one's true path or purpose, guide this search. It's about finding that sweet spot, where your innate abilities and deepest desires converge with something meaningful to the world. The philosophy of conscious action, as taught in Shaolin, is vital here. It emphasizes moving with intention, focusing on the process, not just the fleeting outcome or external applause. My teachers would often say that the path is the reward. The discipline of consistent practice, whether in martial arts or in pursuing your purpose, builds an internal fortitude that makes external validation unnecessary. When you are deeply immersed in your purpose, driven by an internal fire, the opinions of others become mere background noise. Test the power of being anchored in your own truth. To translate this into practical action, begin with small, consistent steps. Don't wait for grand inspiration. Identify one small action you can take today that aligns with your deeper purpose, no matter how insignificant it seems. Perhaps it's dedicating 15 minutes to a creative project you love, researching a cause you care about, or simply practicing a skill that brings you joy. Consistency is key. These small, deliberate actions repeated daily build momentum and reinforce your internal compass, proving to yourself that you are capable and purposeful without needing an outside cheer squad. And here is a profound emotional revelation. The greatest validation you will ever receive is the validation from your own soul. When you align with your deepest purpose, the universe doesn't just allow you to succeed, it conspires in your favor, not because you sought its approval, but because you radiated your truth from within. This is not about chasing external achievements. It's about becoming a beacon of your own inherent power and purpose, which then magnetizes the right people, opportunities, and experiences to you. Consider the transformation of Elena, a middle-aged professional who had always felt unfulfilled despite a successful career. She constantly sought promotions and praise, believing it would finally make her feel enough. Yet she remained empty. After beginning her journey of self-reclamation, recognizing her intrinsic worth and setting firm boundaries, she rediscovered a childhood passion for painting. Initially, she worried about what others would think of her hobby, but as she practiced channeling her freed energy into her art, she found immense joy and a profound sense of purpose. She wasn't seeking validation for her art. The act of creation itself was validating. Over time, her unique style blossomed, attracting genuine admirers and opportunities she never pursued. Elena's story illustrates that when you free your energy from toxicity and external demands, your true potential doesn't just emerge, it explodes, creating a magnificent reality far beyond what you ever imagined was possible. Her true unstoppable power was revealed not by chasing external success, but by diligently protecting her inner sanctuary and allowing her authentic self to shine. Driven by an unwavering internal purpose, we have journeyed through the profound path to embrace your inner power and thrive without validation. We've learned to unmask the invisible cycle of dependency, awakened our self-awareness by looking into the inner mirror, reconnected with our intrinsic worth, and built an unbreakable shield of energetic boundaries. We then activated our inner propulsion by channeling our reclaimed energy for purpose, understanding that our true potential blossoms when freed from external demands. This journey is not just about getting rid of the need for external validation. This is about radically transforming your relationship with energy, with others, and most importantly, with yourself. You are not a victim of circumstance or inherited programming. You are a powerful creator, a conscious architect of your destiny. When you choose to protect your energy, to reprogram outdated beliefs, and to align with your highest vibrational frequency, as we discussed in our previous insights, where quantum principles meet ancient wisdom, you are not just changing your life, you are stepping into your true legacy, a legacy of light, freedom, and boundless potential. Your ability to safeguard your energy, to elevate your consciousness, and to manifest a life of authentic joy and purpose is not merely a possibility, it is your inherent right. The strongest women are not those who are untouched by challenges, but those who understand that every experience is an opportunity to deepen their wisdom and end up their light. Your journey from seeking external approval to embodying boundless self-validation is the most profound transformation you can undergo. It's your ultimate reclamation. So my question to you as we conclude this profound exploration is this: now that you hold the keys to embracing your inner power and thriving without validation, what is one concrete action you will take today to begin safeguarding your magnificent energy and honoring your intrinsic worth? The power is in your hands. Do not let this knowledge remain just information. Transform it into action. Transform it into your new reality. Share your commitment in the comments below. Tell us, what specific step will you take first to detach from external validation? Or what new internal affirmation will you practice today? Your commitment can inspire countless other women on their own journeys of liberation and self-reclamation. Share this video with every woman you know who is ready to protect her light and embrace her true unstoppable power, anchored in her own intrinsic value. Remember, your destiny is not written, it is vibrating within you, waiting for you to claim it. Gratitude.